Alright, so we were gonna give basically another go with the Goths here. We just saw him shred Turks, basically, with the Goths, which shouldn't happen, but who am I to judge? He's now playing against Uriel Pacheco here, which... Wait, is this a ranked game or is this the AI, basically? Yeah, this isn't AI scouting pattern, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. Anyway, Goths versus Indians again. This should actually favor the Goths, I think. Not like the previous game where you'd favor the Turks more. Indians, however, if they can get to the Imperial Age and get to the hand cannoneers, they have extra range for their hand cannoneers through the unique technology. By the way, looking at Vasikli's base here is awesome. He could wall here. He could wall here. Front side, sides. It's a bit greedy, but you'll secure 2 gold, main gold, 2 stones, and yeah, secondary golds still town centerable later on. I'm speeding things up a bit here, and I shouldn't have because there's there's that there's that there's that freaking forward barracks again. Last game it was right next to the opponent's barracks. Now it's just Green doesn't have any idea what's going on there. It's sacrifice this TC to enemy hierarchy. Note to self: don't speed up Basic's games here. We really need to slow this one down to reasonable levels here. Sorry. It's reacting with the defensive barracks here, which is nice. But the damage has already been done here. This time around, the opponent is not pounding down the enemy barracks with 11 villagers, because the barracks is still invisible as far as green is concerned. Okay, the forward here. Looks like we're getting a villager kill here. Isn't that the first... That's the 3rd villager kill of the game. About to be 4 here, and basically is owning it here in enemy base with the... not so sneaky forward barracks here, but who cares? It's keeping the Indians busy here. Uriel in the feudal age now, reacting with a defensive range. Probably planning the scouts initially, but now making the range. Here's the problem though. How is Uriel going to be able to make any any defensive archers here, because there's basically no gold. There's enough gold for 2 archers, and that's about it. Barely even have wood for access here with the small walls here. Very inefficient wood here. Bad wood situation for Uriel Pacheco here. And is probably tilted like crazy about this forward here at this point. I'll agree to the forward barracks, so, and just to make sure no more forward barracks are being placed in the face of Uriel Pacheco. He places an outpost right in the middle of Vasikli's buildings here. Yeah, I think we can successfully label this a low elo legends game. I mean, if you want to clean up infantry here, if you want to maybe counterattack and get some damage done here. Basically doesn't seem to know that Goths carry more food while hunting, by the way. This is a lot of villagers. Long distance hunting. The thing is, there's a freaking back gold here for Uriel Pacheco, and he's not taking it. He has the range up. He has a safe-ish woodline. But who needs archers when you can just garrison the TC and kill all the forward militia just like that? In all fairness, if you're green here, why didn't you do this ages ago? Easier said than done with the sneaky barracks. Feudal Age finally for Vasigli here as well. And making his own little hideout at home here. This is actually kind of the walls I was talking about. Except you could wall... When going for that powered rush, you could wall even more greedily, I think. All the way to the edge of the map. But yeah, walls are happening here. Not too much Uriel Pacheco can do about this. Finally going to gold. And house walling in the forward barracks here. Because why not? We're gonna need houses anyway. Wow. Who's gonna win? Men at Arm versus Skirm. Okay. Let's see, there's some green movement from Frontier. Skirmishers, archers. Not the most successful forward here, but green is here, is hesitant to move closer to TC, makes sense. Could still deny some gold here. And that is the only gold of basically here at home base, so he's in deep shit now, not being able to access any of the golds here. Maybe should have walled earlier with that forward aggression you did, but we're gonna see the Goths here. With a castle again here, once the castle age can kick in here, and the damage was most certainly done a while ago. Keep in mind that the forward units here of Uriel Pacheco, they don't have any upgrades whatsoever. So any skirmishers and archers here, they can easily be rushed down by villagers because they don't have any extra attack or defense in their upgrades here. Oh, the trap attempt! Seriously though, just fight this off with villagers. Don't let him annoy you like this. Just task the villagers to fight. There we go! And in the meantime, not much happening in the forward. No more house walling the forward buildings here. But they've served their purpose. They could still be annoying later on. And here comes the stable again! Oh. Peak Arabia gameplay here. Goths, forward barracks, Drush, very forward barracks, into defensive stable, probably to clean up the skirms and archers here, I don't know. Into Castle Age, right? No? Yes? No? No. And Uriel Pacheco here is only 3 villagers behind. Even after all this aggression. 2 minutes at least time to 1 minute 36 here. Neither player has wheelbarrow. But Uriel has the horse collar, so that's slightly better eco upgrades overall here. Somehow he's found the back gold at home base here now, so he's able to produce archers. The Indians player is sending one archer forward at a time. They do have fletching, and they can definitely annoy the woodlands here. And how on earth did this guy even get in? Well, it's certainly making life difficult for everyone here. More scouts. When in doubt, make Gothic Scout, I guess. But certainly outnumbered now, Vazigli. 2 military to 10 here. That's not numbers you usually see as Goths. Goths being the inferior in military numbers here. Not stressing completing the walls here either. And hideout almost complete here, except for the front side close to the TC here. Maybe they want to cross wall in towards the town center here or something to force the archers and skirms to run right into your home base if they want to attack. Let's see for green. Obviously green knows that the town center is here. Green obviously can't see these foundations, but we'll break through here instead. Did basically just sell all of the stone he's been mining over here to go to the castle age? I think he did. I can't really keep track of everything here, but he's using the Goth scouts to the best of his ability here. Tower defense here, playing tower defense with the Goths here. Garrisoning and yeah, no more movement forward. His barracks is history at this point. Gold still unavailable forward for the Indians here, but in the backside, huge main gold in the back here should be perfectly fine. And we're not joking around here. Both players reaching castle age at the same time, but the Indians, certainly the aggressor here, going for the forward siege workshop with no less than 3 villagers here to start pushing with an archer's siege kind of push here. Another forward range going up as well. Good reaction from basically seeing the forward siege workshop here, immediately queuing, building a defensive siege workshop as well. We'll need a market to adjust the economy here. Does have that one, could sell food now for gold and pump out a defensive mangonel immediately here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, definitely looked like Ural is with a good forward here, almost able to focus down that defensive mangonel of Basically here, but he's holding here. Repair micro on point here as well, and he's getting some juicy mangonel shots in here too. Yeah. To clean up everything. Defensive mangonel, defensive rams, defensive scorpions, everything here. One for one by the mangonels here. Spearmen doing work as well, but they're subject to defensive tower fire here. Basically with the defensive approach here as well, with the forward not doing too much for Uriel Pacheco here, who is also potentially demotivated a bit by the score here. Basically with 54 villagers to 45 here, dropping a defensive castle now and preparing to maybe get that eventual counter attack area rolling going here. One second, please. Just let me place my defensive castle and then let's go. Indian camels, they have Pierce armor, extra Pierce armor, but here's the defensive castle, and finally, after completing this castle, the villagers just randomly go to complete these long waiting to complete palisade walls here. Goths don't get stone walls, so you'll have to palisade wall your home base, of course. Oh, this is like a beautiful point of entry for green though, and he actually has a crossbow here. Seeing this very opportunity, you could chop this tree, send the villager forward, place a foundation there and enter. But might not be possible after the most recent patch, so I would put my money on it. Looks like the forward is being pushed back from Valzikli here though, and he's with it's with 15 on stone, so he's gonna place another castle at some point here. The next one might be actually be going on the offensive side on the gold maybe of Uriel over here. If the red player scouting is on point, which it is not. Nice. Monks being added as well to deal with some of the small trickles of Indian scouts. 3 stables forward and a siege workshop, and the range here from Uriel Pacheco seems lost as to what to do around here. Camel numbers, yes, increasing, but it's facing the mighty AI army of the Goths here with a Gothic camel. You don't see those a lot because they don't have access to them. And Huskarls, again here for Vasikli, is committing to that one unit, which I'm not sure how the Huskarl would trade against camels. Actually, we might get to see that in practice here. We see Uriel not giving up on the forward either. He still has another siege workshop now completed, 3 stables, lots of forward buildings, 6 forward buildings not producing whatsoever here. So so Uriel is going Imperial Age here with a whooping 10 build tree and no equal to either produce or improve upon the units upon reaching the Imperial Age here, I think. And you'd think that Indians with their cheaper villagers would at least have a better boom here, but they're behind in villagers as well. As Vasikli drops another castle and wants control of this gold and get rid of the forward buildings of the Indians player here. They're really not consistent enough in their army production here, looking at the numbers, but in the Indians player's defense, the early aggression, Dark Age aggression of Vasikli probably threw them completely off their game, and still committing to 1 TC here, but not really making enough military to justify that decision either. Oh, so we have 2 Goths camels at this point. Dealing with the forward, of course. The castle even has Botkin arrow in here, so it's plus 2 range and also more damage output against the forward buildings here. Well, Zikli going Imperial Age right now, but falling behind, of course, the Indians player here. But the Indians player, Uriel, only with 1 castle. That is on the very left side of Vasikli's base here. But he's making the trebuchets, but how's he going to support the forward here with the camels and non-existent army here? That's the issue of going in before your opponent with no clear plan behind it. If you want to push with trebs, you need something to support them against the Goths here. And now we have Vasikli going to the Imperial Age with the Goths here. Still lacking numbers for that infamous Goth spam, but at the very least having better economy behind this and good potential to close this one out in the Imperial Age. They're both only with 1 town center, which is... Wait, Vasikli actually has 2. So it's 2 town centers to 1, which explains the villager lead here for our red friend. Skulls on the move again. Not elite this time around for Vasikli, but they might very well become that in the Imperial Age here. Looking at the food economy here, still heavy on the stone. Wants another forward castle here or another castle up here, like a true low elo legend, depending on the placement, of course. Indians with their mindset on point here, dropping a couple of barracks here, wanting to go into champions as soon as possible here to deal with the Goth spam, but the forward buildings that haven't been producing for ages going down. Uriel Pacheco is falling significantly behind in score here. 3 military to 14. Looks like this might be Vasikli's game again with the Goths here. Perfectly placed castles here, one within range of the other here. I'm not quite sure what this one is providing at this point, but it's protecting this gold, double protecting the gold. Some would say using protection is important, so that's probably why it's going up here for Vasikli. Really wants that 4-tile gold to be utterly protected, because this one will be depleted eventually. And the forward push can continue here. Economy overall, 86 villagers, 30 villagers more for Vasikli here. That's going to escalate in terms of army replenishment potential here. And Uriel at this point desperately trying to reboom into it. A castle here going up on the third gold in front of Green's base, but it's just too far behind at this point. The military size is in favor of Vasikli still, but the economy, more importantly so, is so much more ahead for Vasikli Koikola here. Longswords versus Elite Huskarls. That should still work in Vasikli's favor here if you look at the stats here. Longsword 9+1 attack, Elite Huskarl 12+1 attack. Never mind the armor and everything, it's Imperial Age unit against Catholic Age unit. In terms of upgrades, the Elite Huskarls should win that. Vasikli failing to capitalize on the Goth spam just yet. Is again prioritizing upgrades here before numbers, which in many cases it's a good call, of course. Dealing with the one and only forward castle of the Indians here, and but seriously, get more barracks up though. Make that wood count, and start spamming like never before with Goths here. That's the way to end this. Also, a bit concerned about Uriel going into champions here first, because if you researched chemistry and the unique tech for the Indians here, giving hand cannoneers 1 extra range, you have a much better response against the Huskarls in terms of timing, because it takes a long time to get to fully upgraded champions with all the blacksmith upgrades and all. If you get chemistry and the unique tech with the Indians, you have all you need in the Imperial Age to deal with Goth spam, if you're able to place enough ranges and get the resources up. And in terms of resource investments, other than getting the production buildings up, which is the same cost for a barracks or a range, the resource investment otherwise is food and gold. Except if you go straight into the hand cannoneers here as the Indians, and maybe with a unique technology as well, you're saving a lot of time because it takes such a long time to research men-at-arms, long swordsman, two-handed swordsman, and champion. And eventually you might get there, but ranges and hand cannoneers just seems like a much better choice here. And in the meantime, basically here, though not having the massive Goth spam running just yet, here come the barracks. It's just going in for the kill now eventually. Still only 2,000 enters for Uriel Pacheco. GG. And to be honest, I think basically had this game in pocket the whole way, just not playing it aggressively enough. Good defense though. Good reaction to the Indians' counter-aggression here with this slightly early castle H time and the early feudal H time. But keep in mind as well that you could, these few forward archer and skirmishers of the Indians, you could easily fight that off with villagers and just be done with them and get the eco sorted rather than investing into the scouts and whatnot here against the skirmishers, presumably from basically here with the Goths against the Indians skirmishers before the archers arrived. So bit of overcompensation from Vasily, maybe, but he does end up with a win, so must have made some proper smart decisions here for sure. Just browsing through the uptimes here, Castle Age very identical, 8 seconds apart. Imperial not too far off either. I wish the barracks had come up earlier for basically an Imperial Age though, because that would shred even more quickly whatever the Indians play brought to the table. Also disappointed not to see hand cannoneers with the Indians' unique technology for Uriel here.